Hello everyone, Nadia Crowell. Thank you for subscribing to my YouTube channel. And please follow me on all the platforms on Facebook, Instagram, Periscope, on my podcast, Anchor, Twitter, and of course, YouTube. So what I wanted to talk about today, right, was the experience that I've had with my divorce after I signed the papers. Now, I was separated for close to 2.5 years. And, and also I'm dressed this way because I had a shoot today. I had a shoot at a beach here in Connecticut. So I did, some pictures to promote the makeup, the hair, the eyelashes, and all that. So I was like, oh, whatever, let me just do a YouTube video with it. So I've been wanting to do this video for a while now. So like I was saying, I was separated for 2.5 years, got divorced in December of last year. And for some reason I thought, right, that like after the divorce was final, that things were gonna be smoother, it was gonna be like easier, and it really hasn't been. It's been like a huge hole in me, like a huge void. One thing, that I wanted to talk about was my experience, my fallout with my mother-in-law. And what I do want to clarify first, right, is that she was very good to us, for the amount of time that I was married to her son. I was married for 8 years. She was very good to us. She gave us a lot of stuff. She helped us with down payment for the house, car payments, food, stuff for the kids. I mean, everything that we needed, she was there. Everything. She was very good. But, towards like the last year that me and her son, were together, wasn't the same anymore. And I mean, I kind of get it in a sense that, there is like this loyalty that comes, to your blood, because, blood is thicker than water, and everyone keeps telling me that. But also, it's where, I mean, how can you just like dump people like that? You know what I mean? Just because, you're not married, because your son is not married to this person anymore, then you don't really care about them anymore. That, to me, has been really hard to cope with. And how do I explain this? When I had found, right, the alarm was like going off at the apartment next to me. When I had found finally the apartment that I'm in now, I told her, I said, you know what, I found a place, I will be moving. And, it was a very hectic, like stressful time for me. It was very stressful. It was very like a big unknown. I had to buy a lot of furniture. I don't know how I was going to do it. I did like need like, it would have been nice to get like a lot of support from her. Hey, what do you need help with? How can we be of help to you? Do you need beds? Do you need sheets? Do you need pots and pans? Like, it's like she just threw me away, basically. Like, you're not married anymore to my son, so we're not gonna help you anymore, period. And I remember, saying to her, like, I had a bit of a blow up with her, and I said, look, I go, you don't like me anymore. I tell you, really don't care for me anymore. You don't like me. I told her I need a break. I said, I need a break from you, because we were just like, having run-ins. And she says, no, we'll always have a relationship. And I said to her, I don't think we will, because it doesn't seem that way. And that was over, a month ago. I don't believe that relationships, and especially with family, should be cut off that way, so like drastically. I really don't. Even though, we're not married anymore. I mean, I am still the mother of her grandkids. You know what I mean? Like, I did give her grandkids, and I was very good to her, and I let her, into my life with the kids a lot, which I think was very generous of me, because I know other daughter-in-laws that set really strict boundaries, and I didn't. Like, I just, whenever she wanted, she could come and buy them whatever. And so to me, that has been like really painful, really, really painful, very painful, very difficult to, accept. I'm really hurt over it. Her son knows about it. The kids don't really ask me like why, I don't really talk with grandma anymore, and I'm glad they don't, because I really wouldn't know what to tell them. I probably would just say that I'm busy and she's busy and at some point we'll get together, but there is like no more, family get-togethers. There is no more like me celebrating birthdays with her and the kids. I mean, Mother's Day was last weekend and that was separate. So it's been a really hard pill to swallow. It really has. I know in my case, when I become, when my kids get married, I'm not going to make that mistake. I'm just not. I'm not going to make that mistake. You just don't know, what happens behind closed doors. You don't know what went down in the marriage. You really don't. It's not fair for you to take like one side completely over the other, and just kind of like get rid of people. To me, that's been really hard. And everyone says that, no, it's like that, the loyalty thing. But I don't believe that's right. It's not right. It's painful and it's cruel. And like I was saying, I hope that when my kids get married, that I remember, how painful it was for me, and that I don't take sides. And I tell you, like, it's been like that with my family. For example, my family like never really, turned their back. Stupid alarm. My family like never really, turned their back on like the father of my kids either. My sister still accepted him. My dad still did. My niece and all that. So it wasn't like they were saying, "Oh no, we don't want to be with him anymore. We don't talk to him, and this is that. We're not going to help." I mean, so it's. I thought she was family. I really did. I thought, and also it wasn't just her. It was also like, his family, like his father, his half sisters. To me, why would they do that? Like, why wouldn't you try to stay somewhat in contact with both parties? That just to me like doesn't make sense. I don't think I'll ever understand it, and it's cruel. It really is cruel, because you just never know like what lies ahead. You burn all these bridges. You never know when you can need the person again. You just never know. That's not a good way to handle, relationships. It really isn't. So that's, one part of what I wanted to talk about. But also, like I'm having like withdrawal, from not being like in that house that I was in for like, 8 years anymore. Like I don't know if I've talked about this in a video. I think I probably have. Where he stayed in the home. I moved out, and not because I wanted to, but because it was just how it was. But I've had a hard time adjusting to that. I've had a hard time adjusting to not being in that house and being comfortable and not having a backyard, a front yard, not being able to grill, not having like, parking all the time and looking at the pretty flowers from the deck and the birds and the trees. I don't have that anymore. And that's hard. He has it. I don't. Did I pick that? I didn't. But, I always try to remember, to be grateful for what I do have, and not complain for what I don't have, because it really serves me like no purpose. This is just temporary. I did move into an apartment and it's beautiful. I mean, I couldn't have asked for anything better. Beautiful kitchen, bathroom, floors, everything is brand new, washer and dryer. It has, the location has its inconveniences, but it's beautiful for the budget that I had. But it doesn't take away from the fact that I feel like, I should have been the one to stay there, and I didn't. And now it's, it's done, but it hurts a lot. And my message is, that like, it does get better. It does get better after a divorce. No one told me, right, that after you signed the paperwork, that it was going to be like, you were going to go like a deep, dark hole that you never expected. It was very unexpected to me. Very, like, it took me like by complete surprise. Like, I went into like this mourning process. Like, I had a lot of grief. Like, someone had died, basically. And I wasn't expecting that. I was thinking, oh, now I'm going to have relief. Things are going to be better. It's going to clear up for me. No more fighting. And it's just been like really sad. It's been a really sad, lonely, hard experience for me to go through. It really has. It's like, sometimes I wake up and I feel lost. I feel so lost. Like, what happened? Like, what's my life gonna be now? That I'm not married anymore. I guess, when you're married, obviously, your identity is tied to that person. And now mine is very, separate, and it has been for a while. But signing those papers, like, really made it final. And it like, reality hit, it really hit. The kids, on the other hand, have adjusted somewhat. It's been very difficult to have them going, oh, my bracelet, have them going back and forth, from one, home to the other. It's been hard on them. I'm hoping that will get better, with time. And, I'll always have like a lot of stuff to talk about, in my videos, my journey, my struggles, being a single mom now, becoming an entrepreneur, being an aspiring influencer. And it's just, but I gotta tell you, I struggle. I really struggle with it a lot. Sometimes I'm so unmotivated. I don't feel like doing anything. I mean, I bring the kids to school, and it's like I come back home, and I know that, and let me tell you, it's not like I don't have things to do, because I am like always playing catch up. But sometimes I just don't have the motivation, because I feel like in the dumps. I feel in the dumps. Like, I'm not happy. I don't feel happy. I don't feel like with that energy to just boom, 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 do things. And sometimes days I do, and sometimes, I don't. This is, like I said, is very unexpected. It's a feeling that I never thought, I would be having. But, I'm dealing with it day by day. And hopefully, in a couple of months, it'll get better. I interviewed a divorce coach, a life and divorce coach, a couple of weeks ago. And she said, usually it takes people like a year, 6 months to a year to actually like, transition into that big change, feel better about themselves, have like a routine and all that. And definitely that's true. It's going to be, 6 months. And I mean, I still feel kind of lost. I really do. I mean, I love my kids dearly. I live for them. They are my purpose, but I can't help but feel like this emptiness. It's empty. It's because I've lost a lot. Like, in this past few months. I lost like my marital home. I lost my marriage. I lost family, especially, his mom. I lost that. So it's like all these losses. And I guess, now that I'm talking about it, yeah, it makes sense, that I would feel this way. And I just have to let myself feel it. I have to let myself feel it, process it, get through it, and just keep moving forward. Keep moving forward for my kids, and just continue on my life. I know at some point, it will get better. It will. And I would like for things to move quicker. Who doesn't? I mean, we're impatient. No one wants to be in pain. No one wants to suffer. No one wants to struggle. But, it'll come. At some point, I'll wake up in the morning and say, you know what, I'm good now. And I can keep moving forward, and I can go on with my life. And, you know, I definitely have become like, you know, absolutely a better version of myself. And like I've said, you know, many, many times, my purpose is to help moms and dads who are struggling every day to raise happy, healthy kids, who are struggling with depression, anxiety, you know, being single, a divorce, you know, not having, like I said, someone in their life, you know, with self-confidence. It's just, I want to help parents through my struggles, you know, through my journey, you know, through my life, so they know that everyone goes through this and it's part of life, but people just don't talk about it because they're ashamed, because they don't want to look weak, because they don't want to be vulnerable, because they don't want other people to say, oh my God, look what she's going through, because they want to play the perfect role. And that's just not the case. No one's life is perfect. It might seem like it is. You know, they might post on Facebook like, oh yeah, I went out with my husband. Oh, this is so great. Da 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 da. But you don't know. The next day they might blow their brains out. No one's life is perfect. If their life is perfect, I mean, they're just full of it. They just are, because it just doesn't exist. Everyone has a whole bunch of set of problems that they're dealing with all the time. And that's one thing also that I've learned to cope with, is dealing with different problems that have been thrown on my lap for these past, you know, few years by going through the separation and divorce. And there have been many, many times where I've just like felt like I was gonna break. I was gonna break into pieces, and I have. And then I'm like picking myself up, and then I'm breaking again and again and again. And, you know, did I have anyone there to help me like get up? No, I had to do it on my own. I had to find the strength and energy on my own to get up and keep going all the time. Because why? Because I had kids. Because I have kids and they depend on me and they need their mother. And I don't want my kids not to have a mother. So that's what made me get out of bed every morning and keep going, despite, you know, the hardships that I was going through and not being able to see the light at the tunnel, and saying like, why am I on this planet if it's gonna be so painful? I can't live like this anymore. Well, I had kids. That's why I continued. Thank you for tuning in. Please share this video, because a lot of people are going to benefit from it. A lot of people can relate to it. If there's any topics any content that you'd like for me to talk about, please leave it on the message, you know, on the comments. And thank you for subscribing, and thank you for following me. Okay, bye-bye.